After 20 years of bitter war with the Taliban, the West is now asking itself, how does it pivot and work with the very group that's been its sworn enemy for decades?
The Taliban is on an official UN sanctions list as a designated terrorist organisation. So even before the question of formal recognition comes up, the question of no longer being designated by the countries of the world as a terrorist organisation is the first challenge.
The West is trying to apply maximum influence on the Taliban by freezing Afghan foreign reserves and withholding aid money the country is dependent on. But with 1/3 of the Afghanistan population already facing food insecurity, that will mean more misery for the Afghan people and will likely force many to flee the country.
On the other hand, recognising and providing assistance to the humanitarian, whether humanitarian or development, may be seen to reward the Taliban for a military takeover and send a difficult signal to other terrorist groups around the world that might equals right. So the challenge, I think, will become how can that aid be delivered in ways that do not represent working with or through the Taliban. That will put the question straight away on organisations like the United Nations, like the Red Cross and Red Crescent.
The Taliban still holds many bargaining chips. The West wants guaranteed safe passage to leave Afghanistan for foreign nationals and Afghans who worked alongside them.
The fact is that the Taliban will have the say over whether or not those foreign nationals can get out of the country. And if at any point the Taliban want to use that in a negotiation, they can.
And US President Joe Biden has promised to hunt down the Daesh-K terrorists responsible for last week's attack on Kabul's airport. But with no foreign troops left in Afghanistan, he may need help to do that.
If the United States wants to go after Islamic State Khorasan, they do not have assets on the ground. They don't have operatives. They don't have a military presence precisely because of the withdrawal. They need a local faction to help them in identifying and targeting ISIS-K. Who is the most prevalent local faction that could do that? The Taliban.
Working with the Taliban leaves Western governments questioning their rule of law and values-based ethos. But failure to engage with the group is highly likely to condemn the already long-suffering Afghan population to further violence, misery and poverty. Sarah Morice, TRT World.